Imagine standing in the middle of the Arabian Gulf looking around. You see a gigantic island shaped like a palm tree, luxury hotels, private beaches, thousands of villas, millions of tourists every year. But here's the mystery. Just a few decades ago, there was nothing here, only open sea, no land, no buildings, no beaches, nothing. So how did Dubai create an entire island in the middle of the ocean? How were billions of tons of sand placed? Such precision. Why hasn't the island sunk into the sea? And perhaps the biggest question, was Palm Jumeirah really worth the billions spent to build it? This is the incredible story of one of the greatest engineering projects ever attempted, a project many experts believed was impossible, yet today it can even be seen from space. Welcome to the story of Palm Jumeirah. Before Palm Jumeirah could become a reality, Dubai itself had a problem. Unlike many major cities, it had very little natural coastline. As tourism began to grow, the government wanted something the world had never seen: more beaches, more waterfront homes, more luxury hotels. But there was only one solution: create new land. Instead of building upward, Dubai decided to build outward into the sea. In 2001, construction officially began. The design wasn't random. Engineers wanted something represented Dubai, something visible from the sky. They chose a palm tree, one of the most important symbols of the Middle East. The island would include a long trunk, 17 giant fronds, and a massive crescent-shaped breakwater. Together they would create more than 78 kilometers of new coastline. But designing the island on paper was easy. Building it in the open sea was something no one had ever attempted on this scale. The next challenge was unbelievable. Where would millions of cubic meters of sand come from, and how could engineers place every grain with such precision without modern GPS, making even the smallest mistake? The answer was one of the greatest engineering achievements in modern history. The answer was hidden beneath the seabed. Instead of transporting sand by trucks, engineers used some of the world's largest dredging ships. These giant vessels sucked sand from the floor of the Arabian Gulf. Then, using powerful pipelines, they sprayed the sand across the sea. This process was known as rainbowing. From a distance, it looked as if massive fountains of sand were flying across the ocean. But there was a serious problem. Ocean currents, strong waves, and powerful winds could wash away freshly placed sand. Within days, every meter had to be positioned with incredible accuracy. Engineers couldn't rely only on ordinary GPS. Instead, they used advanced satellite systems, laser surveying, and constant depth measurements. Every section was checked again and again until the shape matched the original design. By the time the land was completed, more than 90 million cubic meters of sand had been moved, enough to fill millions of Olympic-sized swimming pools. And surprisingly, no concrete was used to create the island itself. Palm Jumeirah was built most entirely from natural sand and rock. It was one of the boldest engineering decisions ever made. But another challenge was waiting, a challenge that almost destroyed the entire project. As the island continued to rise from the sea, engineers realized a dangerous problem. The giant crescent-shaped breakwater was doing its job. It protected the island from powerful waves, but it also blocked the natural flow of seawater. Slowly, the water inside the palm began to stagnate. Without fresh circulation, the water could lose oxygen, marine life would suffer, and the beautiful blue lagoons could turn into polluted waters. It was a serious threat, one that could ruin the entire project. The solution required another engineering breakthrough. Instead of building a completely closed breakwater, engineers created two massive openings. These gaps allowed seawater to flow in and out. Every single day, computer simulations were used to study wave movement, ocean currents, and water circulation before a single rock was moved. The breakwater itself was another engineering masterpiece. It stretched for more than 11 kilometers, built using over 7 million tons of natural rock. Each massive boulder was carefully placed to absorb the force of the Arabian Gulf. Without this protective barrier Palm Jumeirah would have faced. Constant erosion and years of construction could have been washed away by the sea, but solving one problem created another. Now, engineers had to build roads, bridges, power lines, water systems, and thousands of luxury homes on land that didn't even exist just a few years earlier. Building an island was only the beginning. Now, engineers faced an even bigger challenge. How do you build skyscrapers, luxury hotels, and thousands of villas? And that was once open sea. The answer started beneath the ground. Freshly placed sand is soft, it shifts, it settles, and it cannot support massive buildings. If construction started immediately, the ground could sink, cracks would appear, entire structures could become unsafe. So engineers used a process called vibrocompaction. Gigantic machines lowered vibrating probes deep into the sand. The powerful vibrations forced the loose sand to become dense, stable, and strong. Millions of square meters were treated using this technique. Only after the ground passed strict engineering tests did construction begin. Roads appeared first, then underground pipelines, electricity cables, water networks, communication systems. Everything had to be installed before the luxury buildings could rise. Soon, cranes covered the skyline. Thousands of workers labored day and night. Piece by piece, Palm Jumeirah transformed from an empty island into one of the most luxurious communities on Earth. But the project was far from over. The world's attention was now focused on one building that would become the symbol of Palm Jumeirah, Atlantis, the hotel that changed everything in 2008. After years of planning, engineering, and construction, Palm Jumeirah welcomed its most famous landmark, Atlantis The Palm, a luxury resort unlike anything the Middle East had ever seen. Built at the very edge of the crescent, the hotel quickly became a global symbol of Dubai. Thousands of luxury rooms, giant aquariums, water parks, fine dining, private beaches, everything designed to impress the world. Soon, celebrities, business leaders, athletes, and millions of tourists arrived from every corner of the planet. Palm Jumeirah was no longer just an engineering project, it had become a global destination. But building a luxury island came with enormous costs. Experts estimate the project required billions of dollars, millions of working hours, thousands of engineers, architects, divers, surveyors, and construction workers. Many people questioned whether such a massive investment would ever pay off. But over time, luxury villas sold for record prices, five-star hotels reached high occupancy rates, businesses expanded rapidly, tourism brought billions into Dubai's economy. Palm Jumeirah became one of the most recognizable places on Earth. What once existed only on paper had become a thriving city built where there had once been nothing but sea. Yet, even today, engineers continue to monitor the island because keeping a man-made island safe requires constant maintenance. The story of Palm Jumeirah didn't end when construction finished. In many ways, it was only the beginning. Today, Palm Jumeirah is considered one of the greatest engineering achievements of the 21st century. From space, its unique palm tree shape can easily be recognized. Something that once seemed impossible is now home to more than 25,000 people every year. Millions of visitors walk its beaches, stay in luxury resorts, and enjoy a place that did not exist just a few decades ago. But Palm Jumeirah is more than a luxury destination. It proved that with vision, technology, and determination, humans can create land where only open water once existed. The project inspired even bigger developments: Palm Jebel Ali, the World Islands, and many other artificial island projects across the globe. Of course, the project has also faced criticism. Some experts have raised concerns about marine ecosystems, rising sea levels, and long-term maintenance costs. Others believe the economic benefits far outweigh the challenges. Whatever the opinion, one fact cannot be denied: Palm Jumeirah changed the future of Dubai, and it changed the way the world thinks about mega engineering. What was once an impossible dream now stands as one of humanity's boldest construction achievements, it reminds us that sometimes the greatest limits exist only in our imagination. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us as we explore more of the world's greatest engineering wonders. Until next time, stay curious.